All right, well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone again for joining our amazing call this morning. My apologies, I was trying to get into this meeting using actually the wrong login and password. So, wow, it's just jamming in this call. Look at that, my goodness. Again, appreciate all of your patience for hanging on tight there. Again, my name is, of course, Rene Liaw, Lifestyle Director 4 with Opulence Global. And today we have a very, very exciting call. And I can't wait for all of you again to hear the story of this incredible gentleman that you've seen all over the posters. Of course, Mr. John Busswood. Hang in tight there as I'm going to do a quick introduction for him later on. But again, good morning, John.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. I know it's about 7 a.m. for you in Vancouver.
Yeah, I think I've got about two brain cells working right now.
That's all. You only need to have one, anyways, for today's call. I know that you are so talented at what you do, of course. And again, a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Thank you for hanging on tight there while we were launching the call. I actually had the wrong login credentials to launch today's call. Realized, let me just try my own login and password, and lo and behold, it actually works. So again, get a chance right now, folks. Just if you can, in the group chat, just say hello and let us know where you're dialing in from. I see a lot of people already, of course, joining in the call. I see Yulia. Hello, good morning, Yulia. Hello, Terry Newborn, of course, from Calgary. Hello, Yulia from Israel. I can see, of course, Ronan from Egypt. Welcome, Ronan, brother Ronan. I see Amarjit, of course, from Singapore. I see Raymond from Philippines. Good evening to you guys out in the Philippines. I know it's getting a bit late for you guys, about 10 p.m., but you are in for a very special treat. You know, I'm looking so forward to be able to dig into this gentleman's mind, and of course, we're gonna get that started in a little bit short while. I'm gonna do a few more introductions here. Hello, welcome Stella Basie. Hello from the UK. Hello Zara from the USA. Welcome, welcome. Hello Miriam Adams from Toronto. Hello John Wilson, Mavis Tip from Toronto. Good morning to you guys. I also see, of course, Kathy Ann from Canada. I see Cartelina. Hello, hello from Toronto. Welcome, welcome. Drusilla, of course, from Toronto. Oh, a lot more people are still joining the call right now. Hello, Raymond. Oh, it's actually 11 p.m. for you guys. Yes, in the Philippines and Asia, it's 11 p.m. for you guys. Again, thanks for staying up late for this call, but you're going to absolutely, of course, love today's call and hearing, of course, a gentleman that has had many years, without giving away his age, of course, he's still only 25 years old, but many years experience, of course, in this industry, and we're proud to have him on board, of course, with the Opulence family. Good morning, Shamila. All right, from Tanzania. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Ifra, again, turning in from Turkey. Good afternoon to you, Ifra. Of course, we have Nora Bastian. Yes, yes, good morning to you from Niagara Falls in Canada. We have Larry Hackman. Good morning, Larry. I know that you've known John again for a long period of time. Good morning to you, Larry. Oh, the people are just still joining the call like crazy. Good morning, Yasmin from Trinidad. Welcome to the call. And hello, Fartun from Minnesota. That's awesome, awesome. USA, of course, in the house as well, too. As always, good morning to you, Fartun. And a lot more people. I see Hawa entering the call. Hello, good morning, Tim Thompson. I know, of course, another long-term friend, I believe, of John Busswood, of course, is Tim Thompson. Welcome, welcome. And we have some Chinese names on the call. Welcome to, of course, the Chinese team that's here as well. And of course, we see Nancy from Kenya. Welcome, welcome, Nancy. Good evening to you. I'm in Kenya. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday so far. For those of you, it's been amazing here in Canada, just watching the truckers mandate. If you've been watching Canada, I think in Ottawa, they've got about 2,000 trucks, 200,000 plus people there. Again, so some big news happening here in Canada. Canada is usually pretty quiet, of course, until more recent. Who else do we have here? Good morning, Irana from Thailand. Welcome again from Thailand. Welcome, welcome. We have Nabiyu from St. Lucia. Welcome from the islands. Again, Miriam Adams here. Welcome Oliver from our South Africa team. Welcome, welcome. I think we do have Chen Peng as well too. And because I can't read Chinese, so sorry, whoever that Chinese name is, I just can't read Chinese, so I'm gonna say good morning to you, and unfortunately can't say your name there. I do see, of course, Helen Cheong from Singapore, of course, friends with John Busswood as well too. Good morning, Sadia from Ohio, USA. Good morning, Hawa from Alberta. Okay, good morning, Jisahar. I think it's Frog. Right? Yeah, Frondo. Good morning, Frondo. Hello, good morning, Brenda from Ajax. Good morning, Mona from Ottawa City. I guess your city's been pretty busy, right? Since yesterday when the truckers mandate arrived, I believe. And of course, good morning, Leah from Toronto. So, guys, folks, it's about 10:06. People are still joining into the call, but of course, we don't want to delay and, of course, take away any more time from this call. That I just can't wait to go and dig into this gentleman's mind. And of course, I guess I'll just start out by doing a quick sort of introduction, of course, as to how I got a chance to meet John. And it all just started from, I would say, back in about, geez, let's see here, I guess November-ish time frame last year. And just through, of course, our main product, which is of course a fountain of life. That's how, of course, I came to getting a chance to meet, of course, John through all that. And it's been great. It's been fantastic. Just getting a chance to talk to him, of course, get to know him. And he has quite a long bio, and we're going to talk about this a bit later on. But let me do a quick read off of his bio here. So John was born in the remote village of Tofino on the west coast of Vancouver Island, British Columbia. And due to a lack of a high school, he was a boarder for 4 years at a private school in Vancouver before graduating and moving on to UBC, which is a University of British Columbia, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology with a minor in economics. Post-university, John became a realtor and eventually co-owned a real estate company which he eventually sold. With soaring interest rates in the early 1980s, John became a Vancouver firefighter to have a dependable paycheck. In the late 1980s, two significant events occurred. One, he married his longtime love, Sherrie, so congrats to him there. I'm sure she saw amazing things in him. And of course, two, he was invited to look at a network marketing as a part-time additional income source. We're going to talk about that, of course, later on and how that more developed. This introduction to network marketing set both John and Sherrie, his beautiful wife that I got a chance to meet as well here in Toronto at our last conference, on a path that would change your lives forever. And to summarize, John and Sherrie were the number one Canadian income earners for many years in two significant international MLM companies and some of the top in the world, earning millions of dollars. John and Sherrie have always built internationally and have always given the credit for their success to the amazing leaders they have attracted to their team. They have now embraced Opulence Global as their forever home. And let me just make sure that this call, okay, it is being recorded. It's going to keep meeting some more people here we're almost done the amazing introduction here, but they have now embraced Opulence Global as their forever home and has set lofty goals to help lead their new team to the very top of Opulence Global. And of course, I'm going to save the rest of this part here, which is what kind of attracted John and Sherrie, of course, to this company, and talk more about that. But first of all, John, welcome to the call. Let's do a quick sound check. Are you there with us, John?
I'm right here, Rene. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, of course. Again, loud and clear. So John, I mean, I guess take us through here a little bit about your history again. And I know there's a lot more to go behind there, but for all the people here who are meeting you for the first time, just share with us, I guess, a little bit about, perhaps, more of your history and kind of, what really opened your doors or what was it about network marketing, that kind of attracted you?
Well, it was kind of an interesting thing because I was in my 30s before I even knew that this industry existed. And I had a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, he's like a brother to me, that kept trying to get me to go to a meeting. And he kept this up for weeks, and I kept on turning him down, coming up with excuses. I thought it was unusual for him to be trying to get me to go to a meeting of any sort. And finally, I broke down and I said, okay, well, I'm not going to get him off my back until I actually go take a look at this. And I went out, and it was a small Canadian company. Nobody here would even know it, but it was called SUMS, Straight Up Marketing System. So, you know, I went to the meeting and I looked at this. I saw the whole concept of, you know, earning, you know, income from not just the 100% of your own efforts, but the efforts of, you know, hundreds of other people. And so I was really quite blown away with the whole concept. And my first question was, is this legal? You know, it just seemed too good to be true. And of course, you know, the concept was legal. I worked hard at the company for over a year. The first 8 weeks, I made $40,000, and that was in the 1980s.
Whoa! So I
So
mean, this is your first opportunity that you've ever been a part of. So I mean, for a lot of people, I mean, I'm kind of curious. You know, for my first company I was in, I barely made like $1,000, right? And that took like months and months of doing it. So what I mean, what was it that gave you that quick success?
I think I've always had a good reputation. I think people trust me. I've had a successful career in real estate and owned my own real estate company for a short time before I moved on. I thought that being a realtor, my next natural progression would be to own my own real estate company. But it was really more like having a daycare center for adults, a lot of whining, a lot of crying. And I decided that that wasn't for me. And as you mentioned earlier, we got hit pretty hard with the interest rates and so forth in the early 80s and again in the mid to late 80s. And so I ended up becoming a Vancouver firefighter. I went back to university and got my agent's license for real estate, which allowed me to still continue to be a realtor while I was a firefighter. In British Columbia here, we had a rule that if you were a realtor, you had to be a full-time realtor. You couldn't have a second job. But if you became a real estate agent, it allowed you to open your own office and have another job and so forth. So
Wow.
I had multiple streams of income, and then, of course, introduced to network marketing, which kind of changed our lives.
Now, you mentioned one really key thing that I think all of us, of course, go through, which is, you know, it sounds like you were invited once and then you rejected the offer, invited twice, rejected the offer. And so two questions. What was going through your mind, again, when they were inviting you? And then, you know, and what was it, I guess, afterwards that made you think, you know what, I'm going to go and do this?
Well, you know, I saw some of the other people in the room, and I heard them speak at the meeting and so forth. And I thought, well, you know what, these people are doing pretty well, and I think I can do as well or better. I've always had a bit of confidence, so I thought, okay, let's take a run at this thing. And it was not a small investment. It was $6,400.
Oh,
$6,400 plus it was $450 for a 3-day training. And quite literally, if you weren't going to do the 3-day training, you probably shouldn't have joined the business because it was probably money that you weren't going to get back. So the
right.
3-day training was an amazing training. It was worth far more than the $450. As I mentioned, you know, my first 8 weeks, we made $40,000 in the business. Um, we the question I had asked myself at the meeting was, is this legal? About a year later, we found out it wasn't.
Oh,
uh,
wow.
I was running an office for the company by that time, and we found out that the government in Alberta had a problem with the marketing system. rather than correcting it and continuing to build the company. The owner decided to take his $10 million or so that he had made over the previous year and leave all of the distributors, basically naked and
Wow.
in the street. So that was not a good first experience.
So I mean, now when that happened to you, like some people, I think that would kind of kill their whatever belief or confidence they had left, in the industry. Now, of course, all of our people on call, I think we've all been trained so well to understand the difference, of course, between MLM versus scams, right?
Yes.
Now, before I get there, you mentioned one thing that I did have to talk about, uh, which is that you mentioned that to sign up for that last business, and this is great for all of us on this call to get a different perspective sometimes because if you've been in Opulence for a few years, you're just so used to this home here. But you mentioned that it was like $6,500 Canadian back then. I mean that in today's money is probably like 20,000, 25,000 just to sign up for a business.
Yes.
And then you mentioned something really important. You said that you had to pay on top of that some like $400 or $350, something like that, to do training. And one thing that, ladies and gentlemen, that I was so impressed about John when I first met him was they got started. I think back in it was like November, December. I think it was when you got started, just before Christmas, right? And you actually, upon hearing about our conference, you and your wife booked your flights, hotels right away to make sure you attended our training. And in fact, even before that, you actually even flew into Toronto just to get a chance to, of course, meet the owner of the company. So many things I want to ask you, and but I just want to point out, folks, that like, it is training really important, and why did you make that decision again, like you said, to come to the training and also to come to meet the CEO as well?
Well, we had a great good fortune to actually meet the CEO, Ramin and Sanaz, in Vancouver last summer. My wife, myself, Alan Ogden, we met them at a downtown hotel here in Vancouver and heard their vision, heard what they'd been doing, heard the history of the company. And that's when we really decided to set our hook in this company, that this was a company that would be our forever home. And there were a lot of reasons behind that. But yes, we came out along with another leader. I think that was back in October, to actually take a look at head office, to wander through, to talk to the people, to see the operation, to spend more time. I think we were out there for 4 days. That again was very important to me, and also very important to the other leader that was with me. And then when the opportunity came up to come out for that 1-day training in November, I just said to my wife Sherrie, I said, you've got to see what I've seen. You've got to come out and experience what I've experienced and meet the people I've met. And we just we looked so forward to coming out and spending time with everybody, and it did not disappoint. It was an amazing event. It was from the time we sat our butts in the seats in the morning till late that night. It was just an amazing day. So full of information, so full of training, so full of meat and potatoes, as opposed to just a bunch of fluff. A lot of us have been to network marketing companies and gone to trainings or gone to events. And literally you can take 2 or 3 days of an event and you could probably put that into an afternoon, but they stretch it out with a lot of fluff and just a lot of filler. The day that we had in Toronto was 100% useful. Everything, all of the news, all of the training. It was well worth the couple of $1,000s that we spent to come out for 4 days.
What's really remarkable is, John. I've been to since the start of Opulence. I've never missed a conference, and it's when I saw you there, what really stood out to me was that, like you said, the moment you and Sherrie and your team sat down at your table, you never left your table. And I don't know if you know this, but I was actually watching you kind of like from the back of the corner of my eye. I just kind of noticed that because I always see some people who, phone call comes in and they run out to the back of the room, or I mean, these are people who need this training. It's like they're probably the first time, or the second time, third time. But yeah, for you just literally was in your table the whole entire time, and that I just want to say that really stood out to me during that conference, John.
Well, it was like drinking from a fire hose. It was an amazing day, and I was glued to that seat, and my ears were as open as I could get my ears to be. The information that was shared by Sanaz and David and Ramin and so many other speakers there, that it was, you couldn't leave your seat, not unless it was an emergency.
And I guess the next event, will you be there? And what's your advice for all the people on the call about never missing these kind of events?
Just never miss an event. It's always been my commitment. If you want to be a leader in any company, you have to behave like a leader. Leaders always show up, and showing up is 99% of it. Sometimes, you have to, if you want to lead, you have to be there. I can't think too many times over the past 30 plus years that I've been in this industry, where I have not gone to an event. I literally, in my mind, I can't think of. It's an investment. It costs money, but the returns are invaluable. The returns you can't even measure in just money. It's if you want to lead your team, be a leader. Show up at
I
events.
love that. I hear too often from people that say, well, yeah, I signed, but I don't have time for the training. I mean, it's you gotta protect the golden goose, or you gotta protect the investment, which was your package sign up. And sometimes I feel like if people had to invest $6,500 to get into Opulence, that they would probably invest more money into the training. But of course, now of course I did want to ask a few other questions, because now that was your first company. So take us now through what happened between that first company and then leading into, of course, Opulence. Like, what happened in between that whole time frame for you?
Well, so you heard about my disappointment in the first company. I I had been bit by the network marketing bug, and that wasn't going to go away. I knew that I had to have network marketing as at least a part-time thing in my life forever. I just found that in network marketing, things move quicker. Relationships, you build relationships a lot faster. You have the opportunities to travel. Just so many things that I enjoy doing are part of being in network marketing. So I decided that if I was going to be in network marketing, I needed to understand network marketing, and I needed to educate myself, because the first one was a failure. I didn't want to have that embarrassment ever again in my life. So I needed to find out what was a legitimate and legal network marketing opportunity, as opposed to what I was roped into on the first occasion. And so I did some studying. I did some education. I listened to a lot of tapes. I listened to the Mark Yarnells and some of the icons of the industry. And it's funny because Mark Yarnell was a big part of like some of the training that I did when I was younger, and Rene Yarnell ended up writing a book a few years later, and I was featured in that book for 2 pages.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was kind of fun to be a student of Mark Yarnell and then be in his wife's book.
That's
but
amazing.
so
Congratulations.
I yeah, so I ended up being invited again to take a look at another network marketing company, and we looked at it. We were quite excited about it. They had a weight loss product, which was a Malwang-based product at the time, which was pretty groundbreaking in the early 1990s. And we took that company from a lazy little company that had been around for a number of years, I think about 13 years, And we took that company from doing practically nothing to over $600 million.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the owner of that company decided that he had a pretty good offer on the table, and he sold the company and changed everything for us. And it got bought and sold about 5 times. You would know the company now as Unicity.
No
Unicity
way.
is,
Wow.
in Unicity, I won't go into it. There's reasons why I decided not to do Unicity any further. And then we went into another company after that, and built a great international business there. But unfortunately, corporate management, the leadership let us down, let down our partners, and so we had to get on the hunt again, and we found ourselves here
Now,
after examining a lot of different companies. We found that the opportunity here, for many reasons, was best with Opulence, and this is our forever home.
so, I mean, before we get into that, I think it's actually great to maybe if you can give just like high level, with those previous companies that, you mentioned, you're about to, was it more of the product issues, or was it more of the ownership? Like what was it about those companies that, you just decide to say, you know what, we got to move on? Because that's a really big question for a lot of us. Yeah.
Well, you would think that you'd stick around with a company that's doing $600 million and continue to try and build it. But our team got battered and beaten over the course of about 5 sales of the company. The original name of the company was Enrich International out of Utah. And Ken Brailsford was the CEO. Ken Brailsford has had a very successful career owning companies and selling them. Excuse me. Ken Brailsford owned Nature Sunshine, then Enrich, which he sold, and Zija, which some of you people might know as well. I was invited into Zija at a very, very early stage. It could have probably been a good move, but I don't like getting bought and sold. And I wasn't going to go and create another company for Ken Brailsford to sell for millions of dollars a game. And that was just a personal choice. So during the course of about 5 different owners, each owner that came along had a different concept of what that compensation plan should look like. Every time they did a compensation plan change, and a lot of it Sherrie and I were involved with, product pricing. We were on the advisory board for many years. And it did, every time it hurt us. Every time we lost, every time we got a new owner, a new compensation plan, it hurt people in different ways, and people left. And so we could see our team breaking up, and that was disconcerting to us. That was very concerning to us. We don't like to lose our partners. We like to support our partners. So, and the same thing happened literally with my last company. We worked very, very hard. I know I've got a lot of partners on this call. We worked very, very hard, and they made a decision not to support our team, not to support us with product. And, it was time to move on or lose our teams altogether.
It's incredible because it's, I guess some people who if Opulence is your first company, it's like you kind of get spoiled because you don't have a point of reference of previous experiences, right? And I'm not talking about people who didn't succeed before in our marketing, because it's not to blame with the companies, because in those companies people make money and people don't make money. So it comes down to really, are you doing your fair share? But in your case, when the company changes a comp plan, and of course it's just so nice in Opulence, because in Opulence we've changes do happen in the comp plan, but they're always for the better. Meaning you're not taking home less, you're actually gaining more, right? So that's a really good thing, and thank you for sharing that, because I think for the folks on the call today, it's so important to hear of some of the crazy stuff that happens out there, because you're one of our most recent I guess leaders that came on board, and it's just great to hear what's happening outside of the Opulence walls, right? In that sense. So again, now leading into Opulence now, and I see people keep asking the same question. What is it that attracted you to Opulence? It may be a big answer, but take your time with this. So what was it about Opulence that really, you looked at many companies. Opulence was not the only option on the table. You mentioned that. So break it down for us. Take your time with this. But what was it about Opulence that brought you home?
Well, okay. So when I examine a company, I have five criteria that are important to me. Most companies will never answer all five for a number of reasons, but the number one reason, the number one thing I look for in a company is the corporate team. The reason why corporate team is number one for me is because you can build a business for many years, put a lot of time, effort, and energy, bring a lot of partners into the business. But if your corporate team is not rock solid, and it doesn't have that vision, the long-term vision, all of your efforts will be for nothing. And this is exactly what happened in those last two companies. Even though I made a lot of money and was very successful, the lack of vision, the lack of commitment, it hurt us badly. It hurt my partners badly, which hurts me terribly. And so when I met with Ramin and Sanaz and with Alan Ogden and my wife, initially, that really got me thinking that this company is, all the pieces that I'm looking for here. But to just hear their commitment, the hours they put in, and then seeing that for myself when I made trips to Toronto, the hours they put in, late at night, early in the morning. So that's number one is you've got to look at the corporate team. Number two is you have to look at the products. And in all honesty, I thought this company was just FOL. I thought it was all found employed. and I had to educate myself, but it was much more than that. And at first I found the luxury items and the fashion and so forth a little bit a little bit strange, because I've never seen a company that offered this much. And then I started thinking about the benefits of that. When you're attracting thousands or tens of thousands of people into your business, why not have the ability to buy a beautiful watch or, rings or jewelry or luxury items, purses and shoes and those types of things? Why not? So it's just more volume. It's just, and so the products, the Fountain of Life blew me away. Excuse me, got a bug in my throat. The Fountain of Life blew me away. I mean, this product is worth its weight in gold. You guys, I don't know if you can see it with the light behind me and everything. Sun's starting to come
Oh
up.
yeah, we can see that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just fell in love with this product right in the very beginning. I fell in love with this product, but then, I've had, just my own testimony: better sleep, less trips to the washroom, faster recovery from the sports and athletics that I do, and I've found the world's closest shave. I simply wash my face with the cleanser. And I just, it doesn't foam up as you all know, but you just wash your face with it and leave it on, do your shaving, and then wash it off, and then follow it up with the day or night serum, whichever one is the one you're using at that time of day. And it gives you the best blade shave I've had for that I can think of. It's just an amazing close shave. So, I mean, I love the products. I love them all. I'm using them all. The shampoos and conditioners are tremendous. So product was number two. Okay, so I'm going to move this along a little quicker. Compensation plan is number three. So, I had no doubt the products worked. I had no doubt the corporate team was long-term, a lifetime commitment. So it became a compensation plan. And, a compensation plan just has to be fair and it has to be achievable. You want your people to succeed. It's not just about what you can do. It's about bringing people on board and helping them to go through the ranks and to succeed. And what I really saw there, along with the compensation plan, hand in fist, so to speak, was the support. The support that I've had from Rene has been unbelievable, and from all kinds of other people in the company, like Ramajit over in Singapore, and of course we've had support from the Philippines, from Malaysia. We've had support from Kuno over in Thailand, and as you know, we've got a team coming in pretty quick here in Korea, and Joe in Korea, what he's doing there right now in the background, but he soon will be in the forefront. There's just a global team here. I call him Dr. Henry. I mean, I know Henry is an amazing gentleman. He reaches out all the time with product knowledge. He blows people away. I mean, the support and the compensation plan, having a 65% payout in the binary with approximately another 10% and other bonuses and benefits. It's unheard of in the industry. So the compensation plan, I knew it would work, and it is working. And then as number 4, I wanted an international opportunity. And, to hear that this company existed with, markets in 200 countries and territories, again, never heard of such a thing before in my life.
Love it.
This company, this Canadian company does business in over 200 countries and territories. I mean, throw a dart at a globe, throw a dart at a world map and figure out where you want to build. Like, where do you want to travel to? Do you like traveling to Asia? Build a team in Asia so you've got an excuse to go. Do you like the Caribbean? Build a team in the Caribbean so you can go and visit them. These will be lifetime partners and lifetime friends of yours. So I'm really we're already in Asia and Europe and so forth, and really looking forward to getting into more markets as well. But so the international was number 4. And number 5 is timing. When I looked at this company and I saw that they only just brought the nutritional product in, the Fountain of Life product. They only brought that in 4 years ago. To me, that is incredible timing, because people like Rene and others in the company, they've been building this company for many years. They've been building this company for, I don't know, whatever it is, 14, 16 years. And basically what that has done is given us an amazing base to build on, an amazing foundation. Around me here in Vancouver, we see high rises going up all the time. And, they just dug a hole over here for the foundation of another high rise. And it was surrounded by fences, and you could hear the work going on for probably a year. You could hear the work going on, digging the hole, all of, laying the foundation for that building, but you could never see the building above the ground. And then all of a sudden it started to grow above the ground. And all of a sudden it's, floor shows up, and then 2 floors show up, and then 3 floors show up. And this building is now shooting out of the ground because it's got a great foundation. And that's exactly where we are with Opulence. Opulence is that building that has that great foundation of 14, 16 years. And we talk about to the billion. Yeah, to the billions. That's what I'm talking about, is to the billions. And so we're gonna knock this out of the park. And Opulence will no longer be the best kept secret in this industry.
Well, John, so many golden nuggets you just shared, and that definitely has some water. You'd be going nonstop. And again, thank you for sharing those 5 things that you mentioned. Again, people are taking notes on that right now. And now, one question as well too is people are kind of curious. How did you get brought into this company? And I'll do a quick answer for the folks here. There's actually another gentleman that that I had met early on, and actually Anil, who's one of our LD3s in the company, had actually I guess sold a bottle of Fountain of Life. I think that's the story, to a gentleman named Alan Ogden, and Alan, of course. If I get this correctly here, John, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was he was the head of the medical advisory board for your previous company. So I guess the best way to put it is, we all know David in our company, right? So this gentleman called Alan Ogden was actually the same role in some ways for John's previous company, and they were in that together. Is that correct, John?
Yes, that is correct. And I was very lucky to. Ellen and I live about 20 minutes apart from each other, and quite often we'll meet halfway and have a coffee or something.
We see his house behind you, right?
Yeah, he's just over there. Yeah, he's on the other side of downtown Vancouver. I'm on the east side of Vancouver, downtown Vancouver. He's on the west side of downtown Vancouver. But Alan has become, over the years, has become a tremendous friend, a tremendous support. I mean, I don't have words enough to describe what an amazing gentleman he is. And his story is, you've got to have him on here. I'm telling you, his story is amazing. And so I've been very fortunate for almost the last 10 years to have Alan in my life. And not just as a member and head of our scientific advisory board with the previous company, but he was also in my organization. And always generous. Always generous with his time. Always generous. On the phone all the time, helping people, giving people advice. So yeah, that is correct. Alan got on the Fountain of Life and then shared some with me, and the rest, as they say, is history.
The rest is history. And by the way, folks, Alan, we did want to see if he could actually do one of these leadership cocktails. He's usually a gentleman that kind of flies under the radar in some ways, but of course, we do. I think at some point in time in the future, he is looking at doing something like this perhaps in the future. But again, I think what's really important here though is really, I mean, here's the head of the medical advisory board in your previous company, and after using and taking a look and using the Fountain of Life, look at that, right? Like, you never know what one bottle sold to one person can lead to the whole ocean moving with you. And so incredible. Now, since getting started, John, really quickly, you hit LD2. I know that you had a really fast start here. Now, one thing, of course, is some people might think that, okay, well, because you had a pretty, a big team before, it might be a bit easier moving into, of course, Opulence. But the way that I've seen your work ethics, and this is what really, really impresses me about John, is, since he got started, he's been going at this every day, 24/7. I mean, and what's really remarkable is, some people try to build, their two legs balanced equally from the get-go because they're thinking of cashing out right away. And one thing that really, really just impressed me, that really showed me that you care more about your team than anything else, was that you wanted to put everyone essentially on like one leg to get that growth going. And it's something that not everyone can do. Of course, greed comes in, and people, you've had your huge $1 million incomes, and some people want to, just make that right away. But, what really impressed me again was that you were looking out at the people in your team to make sure that they got some good excitement and some good overspill. So, talk a little bit about that, because I think it's so key that you're thinking about your team more than yourself in the beginning.
Well, that was important to me, was to get my team going as quickly as possible, and of course I want their success more than mine, because the more successful they are, the more successful I am, and so yeah, it was important, to for the leaders that had been hurt with this other company, to get them. To do everything I could in the one leg to get as much strength in that one leg as I could. It meant giving up something. It meant giving up a lot of growth that I could have had in my second leg in the binary. But I have enough confidence in my own abilities. And I also know that this is my forever company, so I can be patient. I don't need to build this in a month or 2 months or 3 months. I have time. And so it was really important for me to put most of my leadership all into one leg, and they're benefiting from that now. And we're just days away from having Fountain of Life into the Southeast Asian market, into Thailand and so forth. And so they will have an amazing lifetime opportunity. And the spillover from places like Thailand into Laos and Myanmar and Cambodia and on and on and on back into the Patrick and Helen Chong, and great longtime friends of mine and business partners of mine down in Singapore. They're tearing it up down in Singapore. There's just so much opportunity in this company. So I knew that I didn't have to. Yeah, okay, maybe I hurt myself a little bit on the short term in terms of income, but I know that in the long term, I'll make that back up again, and we'll create another big team on the other side.
And I mean, what's nuts is that, I mean, I talk to you almost daily, I'd say, because you're always messaging me about something, and and just, and again, congrats to you, because you're literally launching, new partners, all the time. You're doing daily presentations. I mean, you're doing the work. I think one thing that I guess leaders want new people or existing partners to know is that you got to work this business, right? And it's about that consistency. And can you talk a little bit about, I mean, if you want to give some tips and some suggestions, to the folks on the call, what are some of your secrets that you might want to share?
Well, first of all, I mean, it's you've got to know the products. You immerse yourself. I love, I'm not an Alan Ogden. I'm not a Henry. But I know they're there for me. And I listen to what they say. I listen to the trainings. I love the testimonials. I have so many of my own now because I'm on all of these different products. Even like the spray and things like that, for your mask, and these sorts of ththings, they become part of your everyday life. And they have these products become part of my everyday life. I'm committed to them, and I keep my ears open. When I'm thinking about somebody, building your list, when you're building your list, and you're thinking about somebody that you would like to be a partner, there's nothing more special than being at the beginning, because you can build your team the way you want. And so I have an opportunity to rebuild my team with a lot of new people as well. People that I've known throughout the years. For instance, I just mentioned Patrick and Helen in Singapore. They didn't come into my last company with me because there was no commitment from the company to register those products on the ground in Singapore. And when you've got just a not for resale situation in a country, it's very easy for a company to just abandon you. And so I fully understood that Patrick and Helen were not going to join my business in the last company until we actually had products on the ground, which never happened. So, but I always stayed friends with Patrick and Helen because they're important to me. So when this company came along and I found out we had a warehouse in Singapore with Amergid, it was just a natural conclusion to get in touch with them and invite them to take a look at this company. And they had the great foresight and wisdom to join Opulence with me. They will do extremely well. And we're building under them in other countries now too, not just Singapore. So what do you do? Well, first of all, we've got a two-edged sword. So you have to know the person you're talking to. You have to know your audience. The two-edged sword I'm talking about is opportunity and product. So, is this person a business person? Is this person going to be interested in mainly in just building the business, building an income? Okay, well, if they are, well then, let's talk about that. Let's introduce them to somebody like Rene, who's the youngest millionaire. I mean, if you can't impress somebody with Rene, you're never going to impress anybody ever. You know, if they're an extreme product person, then you hook them up with somebody like Henry. I mean, Henry is dazzling with product. I mean, the testimonies, over 2,000 video testimonies on his phone. I mean, he just blew Dale and Lynette Brager from Calgary away the other day, and I mean, it blew me away too. I remember the first time I went out to Toronto and he took me over to his office for about 2 hours. I could have sat there for 2 days. I mean, just listening to him. So, so remember, you've got two ways to approach people: product, which usually leads to the business, or business, which usually leads back to the product.
I love that. I love that because I think one of the biggest mistakes people make, in this industry, is they just they have someone who's only has no idea about the business, has shown some curiosity about the products, and then they see that curiosity, and maybe that curiosity makes them overly excited, and they verbal diarrhea, whatever you want to call it, and maybe they just go on to this money talk, and it actually perhaps discourages that prospect, right? So I love that share. Thank you so much for pointing that out. To know who your prospect is, right? Now, one thing I had to ask you though, John, because I think a lot of people in this industry, not only will it happen, for example, in your case, you've had made a lot of money in the industry, and it kind of went down, this up and down thing, and sometimes it happens. In your case, of course, through different companies, but sometimes, and most oftentimes, it'll happen in the same company, right? Have you had ups and downs in the same company? I mean, I think we heard that, but I mean, talk a bit about that, because I think a lot of people, perhaps when they go through these downs, or we call them the valleys, not the hills, but the valleys, sometimes people just don't hang on, and but speak to that, like with your experiences of how many ups and downs have you gone through? Just one, two, maybe three in your lifetime?
Yeah, there's been some great ups in my lifetime. There's been some great downs as well. There was a couple of times in my lifetime where I thought I might have to declare bankruptcy, back in the days of real estate and so forth.
Wow.
And that's when I was 23 years old. And I know Larry Hackman's on this call. Larry, when I was 23 years old, my best friend and myself became realtors on the North Shore in Vancouver, here, North Vancouver. And Larry Hackman joined the same real estate office with us on the very same day. And Larry was the older, wiser one. But Larry has a saying, seize the day. And he's seized every day. But we got hit pretty hard in real estate with interest rates going to 22, 23%. I had at 23, I was driving the Lincoln Continental. I had two townhouses up in Whistler, British Columbia, Whistler Blackcomb, as you know it now. I thought I was on top of the world, and that this was just never going to end. And the economy came along and flattened me, and lost my two
Wow.
townhomes, lost my Lincoln Continental. I ended up with a car that I think I pushed more than I drove. We had some real tough times, and so that's when you have to look at options, and that's when I became a Vancouver firefighter, and I needed to have a steady income. And I actually ended up making more money in real estate as a Vancouver firefighter than I did when I was doing real estate full time, because I didn't have the pressure on me. And I did a lot of commercial industrial stuff, selling complexes and high rises and things like that.
It must be a really humbling
But
experience, right? To have to, it must be a really humbling, like,
it
experience to
is.
have to reset yourself back to ground again, right? I mean, but you did it.
Yeah, it is humbling when you get smacked down. It's humbling when you think you're that good, and then something comes along that is out of your control. It teaches you a big lesson, and it just made me tougher. I guess the old saying is, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger,
Mm-hmm.
and and that's why I think I was so open to looking at other things. I always have had this, being born in a town of 300 people where it took 2 days to get to Vancouver. It was a 2-day journey to get to Vancouver because there were no roads into Tofino in those days. Now, Tofino is known worldwide as a Mecca, tourism Mecca. But in those days, the opportunity to travel really wasn't there. Um, so I kind of always grew up being this small town kid that just wanted to get out and explore the world. And I think that's one of the things that really attracted me to the network marketing concept is that, if you have a company that you can build in various countries, you can, travel and build there. You can travel and live there. You can, everywhere we go now in the world, people are building their businesses on these. A lot of people don't have laptops and computers, and they live in very small environments, and so when you've got an app like the app we have and everybody should have the app on their phone for Opulence, when you can build a multi-million-dollar business on your cell phone with an e-commerce business, Opulence has presented to us, and they do all the work. They do the videos. They do the amazing job. I got to really, thank from the bottom of my heart all the IT people, all of the team at head office in Opulence, all of the work they do on our behalf, so that we have, a global opportunity. They make it look so easy, and I know it's very difficult and it's a lot of hard work, and we get to take advantage of that. And so, I don't care what it costs you to come into Opulence. It's a small pittance compared to the work and the investment that's gone into this company. And as you mentioned earlier, Rene, $6,400 back in the 1980s to join an opportunity that lasted me 1 year. Of course, I made a lot of money, but I also lost a lot of money on that company as well. But it was the humiliation of not having a rock solid corporate team like we have here at Opulence. I mean, we have a forever home here, people. So you have your ups, you have your downs, get through them, reach out. I've never seen a company with such amazing support as this one, with the whole My5 concept, with your upline leaders. Take advantage of that, learn from them, lean on them, especially in hard times. Get through it, you will. And together we all go to the top.
John, I just want to end off because we're getting close to the 1 hour mark here. But I mean, what's remarkable is two things actually. In working with you for several months now, is one, is you have no ego. I mean, you have every right in this world to walk with your nose held up high. You made your millions. You built the huge organizations. You've created dozens of six-figure earners and millionaires in your own organizations. Yet every time I speak with you, you're so humble. There's no ego. And it's just I guess a leader to leader speaking. It's refreshing. It's so refreshing. I can't tell you. I think we talked about it so many times when we were having our beers in Toronto, that it's so refreshing to meet a leader who actually acts like a leader without the ego behind it. So that's one thing, John. I just want to commend you on that. So
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh geez, the second thing it just slipped my mind as I had it there. But what was it? Oh yes. Speaking of the My5, the second thing was it's how quickly you used to come to me for basic questions, but you learn things so quickly that you're now able to handle majority of the questions with your own team. I mean, there's still the odd question here and there, but I think it's so amazing. And what's really key here is that John really took he was like a big sponge. He learned everything he possibly could and has now duplicated himself amongst his team so that perhaps, they're coming to John and now John's people are becoming leaders and then their people are going to them. They're really doing this proper duplication. And I just want to say, congrats on doing that. You became a great student. Now you're becoming, of course, the master as well too. And I'm seeing that traverse down into your teams. So congrats on that front too.
I appreciate that. I've got some tremendous people already in Opulence, and I thank them every single day for being in my life, because there's some really tremendous people, and it's interesting because these people are leading me to other tremendous people, in other parts of the world even, and so it is just an amazing industry to be involved in. There's every opportunity here to create what you want to create. Reach out to the people around you. They're hungry for what we've got. I used to always say to people, they go like, well, I can't talk to this person because they're a millionaire, they're multimillionaire, and I used to say to them, you when you're driving around the richest parts of the city that you're in, and you're looking at the biggest and the best houses, and you're thinking you can't approach these people, you don't know what's going on behind those closed doors. You don't know how close they might be to bankruptcy. You don't know that that person might not be able to sleep at night because they're so far in debt, and yet they're just carrying that debt in this big house or these fancy cars. We've got an amazing opportunity here in health and in wealth, and always remember that. And I always love to give people the opportunity to say no. If I don't ask them if they want to be involved with me and my team, then I've taken the opportunity away from them. But if I invite them to become part of my team and my opportunity and they say no, now it's on them. I've done my bit. And so never be afraid to approach somebody and give them the opportunity to say no, because the more no's you get, the more yeses you're going to get too.
That's huge. I mean, I love that example you just mentioned of these $1 million mansions that you don't know, as you said, what's happening behind those closed doors. And again, just I love that. Never prejudge, basically, right? And so.
Yes.
I did want to get a chance here, John. If you want to invite, some of the folks on the call that might want to share a few words, and so if you're on the call here, you want to share a few words or ask John a few questions. So we do have a few minutes, I guess, for some of that stuff. The 1 hour mark has passed here. So let me see if we have some folks on the call that want to share a few. I know Amarjeet's on the call as well too, and Amarjeet has been assisting a little bit, of course, as well in the Singapore market. Amarjeet, do you want to share a few words, Amarjeet? Are you there with us? And Henry, yeah, there's Henry, who's of course to get a chance to. Henry, want to share a few words of just your collaboration with John over the last few weeks, last few months.
Oh yes, it has been an amazing experience working with John. He's such a big leader, amazing leader, and we were talking about Ramin as with a heart of gold. I think he has a heart of gold as well. Like, he's really amazing, a gentleman, a friend. It almost immediately we become friends, and that's how good you feel with him. And he's such a big leader, and he's so modest. He always asks questions and get his team to work with me together. That is amazing. I never experienced such value in me. I mean, in a sense that just amazing experience to work with him and with his team members. So it's just as a partner, you always want to be helpful, and he gave me a lot of chances to help our partners, especially with the product experience and the questions. So that's a very amazing experience. And the next thing that amazed me is also his work ethics, his hard working attitude in this business. As big leader as he is, he's always in every My Five support, every chat group. He's always there. posting the meeting events, and then always helping people along, and that's just amazing. I couldn't say enough about him. How much I appreciate his leadership and his ability and his integrity. That's most important. People love him because he is so humble. He's so, as you said, there's no ego in him that you never experience that with him. It's just everything is pleasant, and it's a great opportunity to have such leadership in our company. I think he will actually take us to the multi-billion dollar company with us together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Henry. Yeah. Okay, we do have more hands here, so I want to keep on going before we, and so we do here. I just want to read a comment as I unmute Larry here. Actually, Helen, if you want to talk, feel free to raise your hand. But she wrote a message for you, John. She said, "John, you are a great inspiration to us." And again, many others wrote the same comment too. But she spent by saying, we will do our best part-time, though, as our retail business is still running. Yeah, you are very brave, and we will do our best to work with you almost daily. No doubt you win friends easily because of your sincerity and amazing follow-up and response to our queries. Corporate team is super professional. We have great support from Rene, Henry, and elite team in Energy too. And again, thank you, Helen, for responding to, of course, the comment about having anxiety when you approach people. Hey, we all have that, right? It's a matter of just thinking that you're really helping others by offering them that opportunity. But Larry Hackman, go ahead and share a few comments here. Good morning.
Good morning, Rene and John, and it's most certainly a pleasure to be here with you and everyone else that's on this call. John, you brought back some great memories. In fact, I had some tears in my eyes. I remember sums when we were in real estate, and that's actually what brought me back to London from Vancouver. Is I was to be managing an office here for that company. I no sooner got back in London, my furniture was on its way, and the company closed up. So yeah, it was pretty devastating. So anyway, I just managed through that, and I agree with over time being with the companies. I remember in Rich and Unicity and how things changed, but just recently, back in I guess when did you call me, John, or we had a little chat? I think it was about September, and I was getting very, very close to burnout. And I don't know anyone's ever experienced that or not, but I was in burnout. I had the job mentality. I started looking for a job, and at my age, I thought, who wants to hire me? And so anyway, you called me. Along came Opulence. Sorry about this. And I've never looked back. It's my pleasure to be with this company and everything it has to offer to the billion, no question about it. And it's restored every desire that I have in my whole being. And this is a great company. And like John, I've been through many companies, and if there's no comparison. This company is on steroids with product, with opportunity, with support, with culture, with everything. I mean, this is just absolutely amazing. And I thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Larry.
Larry, folks, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome here, of course, Larry, who's also Reach Lifestyle Director too. And Larry, don't hang tight, because we're definitely going to be getting you up, with your, of course, with your generosity to be one of these speakers on the Leadership Cocktail event. Because again, Larry, just can't say enough about Larry. I'm sure same with you, John. He has an incredible story. And wow, I didn't realize what we're doing for Larry just now. And again, Larry, thank you for just sharing that very heartwarming message. And wow, I didn't realize some of the struggles you're going through. But again, this is what happens when you have that one decision to want to share an opportunity with others. What can happen, right? So wow, thank you, Larry, for that. And yeah, so we do see. I'm not sure who is the hand raised with the Chinese name. Is it?
Andre,
Oh, Hanmei. Okay, now I can read Chinese. Hi, Hanmei. Please share a few words.
Hi, Rene. Hi, John. Very nice
Hello.
to see you again. We met on Zoom last week, right? Very,
Yes.
very nice. Very, yeah. This is a wonderful Zoom call, and I'm so touched. I totally agree with your 5 criteria to choose a company. We just discussed that one in our Mandarin Zoom last night. We listed three, but the number one, we are the same, the corporate team, right? Where I'm so impressed by Ramin and Rene and Ramin. Let's talk about Ramin first. Ramin, whenever I listened to his training, I was so moved. He's such a leader that he got his vision that's higher than many of the other people. And also on the other side, he's so humble. Every time I saw him like teaching us how to use the MO box, I was like, okay, I don't know where else we can find a boss, down to earth like this, right? Teaching you. Even now, he's so wealthy, so successful. He's still using the card, the MO box, to teaching us how to do this business step by step. That's a major reason I joined this business. The same as it's a corporate team. Then we come the product, the compensation plan. The last two you mentioned, I remember, is a real international corporation, and we come at the right time. Okay, thank you for sharing this with us. I agree with you, and we all agree with you. Thank you so much. And looking forward to seeing you in Vancouver sometime in the
That would be
future.
fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Hanmei. All right, of course, we have our other lifestyle director for Ifra Hussein. Again, I think she's in Turkey. Ifra, welcome to the call. And again, thanks for being here. Yeah, feel free to unmute yourself. I saw your hand was raised, Ifra.
Hi, Rene.
Oh, hey, Amarjeet.
It's okay. Ifra, go on.
Thank you, my dear. Wow, Rene, thank you so much for this amazing call. Hello, John. It's very nice to officially meet you. We have heard and seen amazing things, so that's awesome. And to everybody, to Opulence Nation, I'm just sitting here with just so much pride, as a fellow Canadian, of course, it makes me extra proud to see, our Canada market is back. It's back, but not only Canada, of course, all over Asia and Africa and everywhere else. I thank you. I just came on here to thank you so much for taking the time, over 30 years experience in the MLM industry. I've been in the MLM only for 4 years. So sitting here and learning and hearing your journey, all the ups and downs, and how you're still able to push through. And I love when you said, forget the billion, we're going to the billions. That is what I'm talking about. Back to you, Rene.
Well, thank you, Ifra. Yeah, I love that. It's again, it does all the time before. Is that some people like Ifra, congrats because you landed Opulence as your first network marketing company, and some people don't realize how golden that is. Others had to go through a few different ones to find home here, right? So again, thank you, Ifra, for sharing that. Of course, we'll get to Amarjeet, and then we also have, of course, Ronan. So Amarjeet, go ahead, Amarjeet.
Hello. A very good morning to John and Rene. How are you guys?
Yeah, good evening.
Good.
It's the evening here. Yeah. Yes, John, you have inspired your story with us. I'm so amazed with all your stories. Yes, I'm sure I had the same problem when I first started the business in MLM in 1999. When I joined a company doing so good, and then it closed. So
Yeah.
I understand that, yes. And I really appreciate your team in Singapore. They're really working tremendously with me, Helen and Patrick, and also with your help. you definitely always on the ball. We call it in the army term, always on the ball.
Thank you.
Yes, so yeah, really inspired by your story. Thank you so much, and definitely what you say is we are not going to the billion, we are going to the billions.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amaji, for that as well too. And again, thank you for your support as well, working with, of course, the team in Singapore as always, and globally for that matter. Of course, next we have our other amazing leader here, of course, Ronan Trifan, who, shares a lot of the same kind of, I guess hearing your story, John, reminds me of Ronan quite a lot, actually, because he's had his huge incomes in the past. So, Ronan, I will take your words from you. Share, please, go right ahead.
No, I was just going to say thank you. This is after 32 years in this remarkable industry, 25 in what I call conventional network marketing, and 7.5 years in what I define today as the #1 e-commerce platform on the planet. Many people do not understand the differences between the two, but I am sure through listening to John that him and Larry and many people out there that have seen the differences. I've been waiting many years for people like you, John, and Larry, by the way, which moved me emotionally in about 1.5 seconds. And the reason is I have seen many types of leadership in the industry as a whole. And I've seen a lot of them that cannot handle our culture in Opulence. They come with big attitudes, and they come from old multi-level market, and they believe that they can be more important than the company. Listening to you today, you have given me massive hope and motivation, because I always knew that this company will only attract the right individual that understand that only the team is truly valuable, only the company is truly valuable. Us as individuals, we get beautiful lifestyles out of it, but never we are the story. We are not the story here. We're just great storytellers. We move the message apart, but none of us will ever be more important by rank or by earning than anybody else. And that is one of the things I love about Opulence Global, about the culture that Ramin installed in us. And I believe that you and your team will be fitting here like a glove. And where I looked at others that have been here, and in my heart, I knew they won't be here very long. I believe you're going to be here for decades, and I truly honor you coming on board, and I'll be one of your following students. So keep on sharing, keep on teaching us, and we need that fresh blood. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronan. And in fact, it's you have no idea, folks, the amount of incredible, again, like Ronan said, just talent that has come on board. There's people that we want to hear from. Helen, Patrick, Larry, Alan, Dennis Daly, who's leading a huge movement right now out in Ireland. Kuno, who's our new GM in Thailand. I mean, Werner, the gentleman that I spent endless, not hours, but days now, of course, speaking with, and of course yourself, John, too, right? So, folks, there's going to be a lot of great leadership cocktails coming on board soon. So hang in there, and we want to hear from every single person. But we can only do one per week, right? So that's the only thing, and so many people to actually go through. So, yeah, I saw someone that did open their camera. Not sure they wanted to share a few words, but again, John, it's gone way past the hour mark. I think we could go on for another hour, 3 hours here. But again, I just want to say, I can see that the background, it's not dark anymore. It's actually the sun's rising.
Yeah, we got a little cloud out there today. So I wish I had some sunshine out there for you.
It looks beautiful, and of course, John, we just here at Opulence family cannot thank you enough for taking your morning, waking up 7 in the morning, just to share with us. You didn't have to, you could have went along with your day and kept on building and keep on doing your stuff, but you took your time to join us this morning, share your story, and again, you inspired so many people. So, John, again, thank you so much for your time this morning. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Rene. And I can only inspire people because you guys all inspire me. I get back so much more from you than I could possibly give to you. So thank you, everybody. We have an amazing family here, and it's only going to get better. For the billions.
All right, to the billion, everyone. Okay, again, John, to the billion.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, and folks, by the way, if any of you ever wanted to go and open a market in Thailand, I know Rona, of course, you already have a team in Thailand. Hang in tight. We will be doing some things down there pretty soon and some big announcements again more. But besides that, folks, have yourselves a wonderful Sunday. Happy Sunday to all of you guys. For the folks who are up in Asia, it's about 12:20 in the morning. Thank you, Werner and Helen and of course Amajit and all the partners in Asia to stay so late on the call. And of course, people are still joining the call or rejoining the call. But again, have yourselves a wonderful Sunday. To the billions, I think is the new saying. To the billions.
Yes.
And to the billions. All right, we'll see y'all soon. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I know.
Thank you very much.